Thank you again for taking the time to join us now. The details. The Rwanda Biomedical Center has urged all people to educate themselves on the symptoms of the Marburg virus disease and what measures to take to minimize the risk of infection after the virus was recently detected in Tanzania's Kagera region bordering the country to the east. We have the details with Adam Squizera.
After the government of Tanzania confirmed the first case of Marburg virus in Mukova district, Kagera province, the Rwanda Biomedical Center assured the Rwandans that they have enough information about this virus, as there are even some measures to prevent it that has already been taken.
So, as a country, when we learned about an outbreak of Marburg, we put in place measures. Among those measures ranges from those that were put in place at the port of entries, where at all borders where we initiated screening for temperature and also screening for people who are coming from those affected areas, so that we can follow them to make sure that we identify them earlier and also contain the spread before it spreads to the community. The second approach that we're doing is building the capacity of our lab, where we are setting up lab capacities in different hospitals to be able to detect Marburg disease, but also even other viral magic fevers, including Ebola and others.
Currently, this Marburg virus does not have cure nor vaccine, as it is also known to kill large number of infected people, as RBC is also urging our Rwandans to be aware on its symptoms.
So as Rwandans, whenever there's such kind of outbreak, we need to inform them about the burden, the magnitude of this outbreak. So far in Tanzania, there are more than 14 cases have been reported. Among them, 7 died. You can see that the case fatality rate is very high. And also, we encourage people not to go to those affected areas, since they might get infection. So the second thing is that we need to be informed if there's anyone who has symptoms. We ask them to seek care to their nearest hospitals, to the nearest health centers, because all healthcare workers are trained to link and also manage such kind of cases.
The Rwanda Biomedical Center also noted that the country has learned enough lessons from COVID-19, which that the country has built the capacity to treat, prevent and fight epidemics.
So, we're also building our capacity in treatment, where we built our isolation site in Nyamata with capacity of more than 100. We have also trained healthcare workers so that can be able to manage such kind of diseases. So we are setting up and we're making sure that we are getting more and more prepared for any future pandemic.
The virus was first detected in 1967 in Marburg, Germany, where 2 outbreaks occurred simultaneously, hence the name Marburg. Marburg and Ebola are both members of the Filoviridae family and have similar clinical features, rare occurrence and high fatality rates. Adam Squizera, RwandaTV News.
The Rwanda Housing Authority has announced that any structures built in the country after 2019 without the proper authorization will not be compensated for if the need to demolish them arises to make way for developmental infrastructure projects. Olive Nete with the details.
Various places around the country, especially in the city of Kigali, there's an increase in the construction activities of various houses. Some of the owners of these ongoing infrastructures have building permits, while others do not, due to various reasons.
When we are about to start the construction activities, we apply for building permits, but they do not provide them, and some start asking us to use iron sheets and request money from us. And when we do not pay, they demolish the house. Some people do not have financial means to build great houses, but at some point, a person may be having a wedding, or let's say a man has a spouse, and maybe they used to live in a rented house. He may be having 2 million or 1.5 and decides to build a small house for his family because the means are limited. But the wish is that maybe those who have financial means can build in their own area, and also other areas reserved for people with low income.
According to local authorities, constructing without building permits results into various consequences, including demolishing those houses that were built without permits.
Sometimes you cheat and you build with no permit. Their laws punishes that specific act. They have to understand that if they took loans in the banks for their construction activities, and if it is not done transparently, this bears consequences to him and his whole family, and permits to those who need them are provided.
The Rwanda Housing Authority states that in order to discourage those who build in chaos, the law regarding the transfer of people for reasons of public interest has been enforced. After the establishment of the law, whoever is deprived of a land, who settles or who has done activities on the land that is prohibited from doing some construction activities, those people will not be given compensations. Janvier Muhire, the building regulation specialist at Rwanda Housing Authority, notes that any citizen who builded without a permit after the year 2019, if any public interest activities is supposed to be built or take part of the land of those people, there will be no compensations.
We are doing this to put an end to these activities of building in chaos. That's its first aim. And just letting people continue with this is not right at all. We usually provide building permits, and when there is a certain issue that may cause not to give permits, it's because we closely evaluated it. Residents, most of them, understand this, but we as leaders, do we really understand people's concerns? That's where the problem usually comes from.
The 2022 Population and Housing Census revealed that there are 312 million households in Rwanda with a population of over 13 million. Population growth is accompanied by overcrowding of houses, so there is need for proper planning in the Master Plan of Housing. Olive Nete, RTV News.
On Sunday, His Excellency Jean de Dieu Wihanganye, Rwanda's High Commissioner to Singapore, Australia and New Zealand, who is also the country's ambassador to Indonesia, joined Rwandans living in the Australian state of Queensland for an event dubbed Rwanda Community Sports Day Connect. As the name suggests, the event featured different sporting activities, including a 7-kilometer walk around the city of Brisbane. After the walk, the High Commissioner also held discussions with the members of Rwanda's diaspora in that Australian state. Speaking in a Kinyarwanda radio program that is aired by a local radio station in the city, His Excellency Jean de Dieu Wihanganye stressed to the listeners that the investment opportunities back home in Rwanda were not put in place just for foreigners, and pointed out that Rwandans living abroad can also invest in the country, including in the Rwanda Stock Exchange. He also assured them of the necessary support to ensure that they make good investments for those willing to take advantage of the many opportunities available here. Now, for the third time, the African Institute of Mathematical Sciences, or AIMS as it is usually referred to, in collaboration with Airtel Rwanda, awarded teachers who have excelled in teaching mathematics and encouraged people to love the subject and science. Olive Nete with the details.
It's been 5 years since the AIMS Institute started training math and science teachers in 14 districts in Rwanda. More than 200 teachers who were trained in this program say that this has helped them improve the quality of their education in mathematics and science.
Dukoresha ingwa twandika gusa n'ikaramu.
We used to teach using chalks only or by using pens only, but nowadays we can use projector, we can use computers to download, and also you can teach students about ICT.
Bigisha uburyo nabo bashobora no gukoresha ICT.
Nka seti mu mibare najyaga nigisha mbere nkoresheje amagambo.
For example, while teaching sets, I used to teach by explaining to them through words only. But nowadays, I use appropriate teaching materials so that the student may fully understand what is a set and why we learn about it. Sometimes I may give them an example of a football team or a volleyball team so that they can understand that a set is a group of people of that team of volleyball. Mukunzi Jean, the Director of People Talent and Culture at AIMS, says that training these teachers increased the success rate of the students.
Uretse uwo umubare w'abarimu bahuguwe ariko uburyo.
Besides the number of teachers that have been trained, it led to the increase in number of students who succeed in science subjects. There are fact sheets that shows achievements made through this program.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Airtel Rwanda, a telecommunication company who also took part in these activities, points out that they will continue to support the government in education programs.
I also want to say that Airtel want to be more engaged with Rwanda social program. This is one of the examples. We have also a lot of engagement with UNICEF and the school. We are now talking with RISA to connect 3,500 schools all across the territory with various technology, among of 4G will be, but 5G, and also I insist on satellites that will come. So really we want to be a key player in the development of the education more generally.
The Director General of the Rwanda Basic Education Board, Dr. Nelson Barushimana, notes that such programs will also reach in other districts. Among the prizes given include materials that assist teachers in improving their work, such as laptops, tablets, as well as smartphones. During the 5 years since this program of AIM started, some of these teachers have been assisted to get a bachelor's degree. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Now, as they were concluding the Global Money Week campaign, various youth have expressed their concern about the behavior of their peers who waste money, while many of them are actually facing unemployment. Adam Squeezera with the details.
Alcohol and drugs are marked as the main cause for the money wastage in youth nowadays.
Focus on their goals, should focus on their aims, focus on what they have to do in their lives. Moreover, youth these days are focusing on going out. That where should I go in this week? Where should I go with in this week? And even the social medias are currently influencing some of the people to not use their saving or their brain for the saving. Like the youth, right here, I'm supporting and I'm engaging another youth to use their saving for the future.
They always encourage us to use savings as a way of getting forward and planning for our future. Just like as this theme has said, plant your money, plan your future. It is crucial to save so that you can get ahead in life. There are a lot of things that we plan for, but we forget the part where that we are going to need funds that's coming from us. Many of us come from backgrounds that's not going to cater for us to move forward. So we have to rely on ourselves and how we get and how we use our money.
In the campaign of Global Money Week, there are 5 youth people who were rewarded for buying shares in the stock markets in Rwanda and in the region, where 2 of them were also rewarded for a study visit. Emmanuel Niyonzima, the representative of the organization that organized this competition at the national level, noted that this campaign week has left the youth with knowledge of money management.
Global Money Week has really been, not an easy undertaking, but we actually award it. We expose young people to the reality on the market. They go to understand how the stock market works, how the regulations from the National Bank works and bonds, but also how savings, culture of saving, culture of making money, and they got to understand how the money they plan today contribute to the future. And that has really been our focus.
Songa Chris Musonera, who is in charge of fintech and innovation at National Bank of Rwanda BNL, noted that some youth needs to get encouraged to use financial services.
We are also looking at that part of financial inclusion. How can more people, more youth access these services? We have about 90% of the youth included, financially included, but we want also to be 100%. For instance, by 2024, we need every Rwandan to be financially included. So this includes the youth, and that's why we are here to inform them about different ways they can be included.
In this Global Money Week campaign that has been held for 11 years, at the world level and Rwanda is included, more than 50 million youth from 176 countries have been encouraged for the proper money management in their daily activities. Adam Squeezera, RTV News.
That brings us to the end of this edition of the news. I hope you have a great week ahead of you. Goodbye.